Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I wanted to sit down and film a video today, just a very short one, just about the right and wrong ways to blend with a coloured pencil. Now obviously, as I've said in previous videos, this is my personal opinion on the right and wrong way, so it is down to each of you guys to work out what's going to be best for you, but this is the way that I do it and this is the best effect. Now I do not use a blender, I do not use any like zester or odorless mineral spirit. I literally blend purely pencil on paper. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the right way and also the wrong way, sort of quote unquote. Okay, so first things first, I will demo first with the wrong way, I think. So obviously I'm not working with a reference photo here, I'm just purely going to lay some colour down so you can see, hopefully see the difference in the way that the colour lays down. I'm working purely with the Faber-Castell Polychromos for this tutorial, so hopefully you will be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to start by layering a bit of, I think this is burnt ochre, it's just sort of a bit of an orange. I'm not going in with any base coat and I'm literally just putting a medium pressure in, putting a couple of layers down, sort of going backwards and forwards, then going in with a slightly darker colour. So I want to create a sort of like a variant tone, or like a varied, you know what I mean. So I'm just going in with, this is a sanguine, so I normally would go sort of burnt ochre and a sanguine to get a sort of darker colour. So I'm just going to try and blend a little bit over the top to make it as seamless as I possibly can. And then going in with, I think this is burnt sienna. I'll pick back up the sanguine to sort of go back over this to try and blend it out a little bit. And then going in with a burnt umber, which is a sort of a more brown, but it's got a slightly red undertone. So obviously there's a gradient here, and I will just finish off that gradient by going in with a dark sepia, if I can find, yeah, I've got dark sepia here as well, which is like that. And then I think I've got the black. I'll sort of just finish it off by going in with the black so you can get an idea of sort of like the gradient. If I was really thinking about it before I started filming, I probably should have gone with sort of like an ivory colour to begin with here, which I can still go in and do, and then blend back out a little bit with this colour. So if I spin you guys round, hopefully you will be able to see this. So as you can hopefully see, there's a definite difference in gradient, but it looks quite blocky and it doesn't really look that seamless, and especially when it comes to portrait work, it just will look a bit flat. It won't have much depth to it. There's sort of quite bold colours that are just laying flat on the paper, so if that's the look you're going for, that's absolutely fine, but that's not the look that I like. So let me show you exactly how I blend out my colours onto paper so I can get the best effect for my portraits. So the way that I blend that differs to this one up here is that I tend to go with the lightest colours and work as a base colour, sort of a base colour, and then go in with the darker tones. So I'd put a layer of ivory all across here and smooth out the teeth of the paper as much as I can. Now I'm using a hot breath watercolour paper for this, which is the paper that I use for all my portrait work. This is by Fabriano Artistico. So put a base, a layer, just to smooth out the teeth of the paper like that. I would then go in with this burnt ochre. I think it's burnt ochre. I believe it's burnt ochre anyway. If you can hear sort of noise in the background, it's because my family home. It is Sunday today. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so now I've got that colour down. In fact, I think I'd probably sort of merge it on a bit further as well. Okay, so then I go in with my sanguine. Now, I will admit that I'm putting a different amount of pressure on this one to what I did use in this one up here. This gives a much softer effect. I'm sort of pushing quite hard on this one to get a gradient effect, whereas on here I want a softer gradient. So if you want a softer gradient like this, and if you want to create any smooth surface, then it's really a good idea to learn what pressures to use for your portrait work or for any work that you're doing with colour pencils. And then I want this colour. Now I like to go backwards and forwards in between layers to really smooth everything out properly. And when you're sort of going backwards and forwards, obviously if you're drawing fur, it's really important to follow the direction of the fur, but if you're just doing a smooth surface, then you can sort of do circular motions to help blend out the pencil, or you can sort of do in different directions. If you're drawing fur, it's really important to follow the direction of the fur, as I said. So I sort of go in like that. I will do a fur tutorial at some point when I get time. I just thought I would film this because it's a question I get asked all the time, is how do you blend out your pencils smoothly without using like zester or anything like that. So I thought I'd just come on here and show you quick. Okay, so I'm just going to put a bit more pressure down now. I've sort of created that smoother tone, and then go back in with sanguine. And then go in with burnt sienna. And then go in with burnt umber. Just going to put a little bit more across here to help blend out the two. I think exercises like this are really a good idea for when you're learning what mediums work for you, and what, I mean, you don't have to use an expensive paper for this. You can do it on any paper, and this works with all kinds of different pencils. I find doing smooth gradients like this, the Caran d'Ache Illuminants are great because they're a much softer pencil. These are quite hard leaded, so they're not really that great for blending like this, but for a starting point of view, if anyone, when anyone messaged me asking, you know, what pencils to buy when they're starting off, and the Faber-Castell Polychromos is the pencil that I would always advise, because it is quite an affordable one. It's great to learn with, and you can sort of really make it work to most style of coloured pencil work. So that is definitely the one that I would urge to if you were thinking about investing and getting some coloured pencils. I will do a breakdown of the colour pencils that I use as well, and a really in-depth video, because I know a lot of people are quite interested to see sort of the difference in the pencils that I use and why I use different brands and the different effects I get from using them in sort of collaboration with each other. So that is a video that I will film in the next week or so. I will have a real-time draw with me hopefully coming up in the next day or so as well, in the next sort of, yeah, day, 2 days maybe. So make sure that you are subscribed if you haven't already, and please give this video a like, it really helps my channel out. I can't believe that I'm almost at like 1,500 of you guys. That's amazing. I'm so grateful, so thank you. Okay, so I'm now going to just going backwards and forwards. A really good thing with this sort of paper, the watercolour paper, is that you can really layer it, so it's great for blending with colour pencil. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much there with how far I can take this at the moment. Obviously, the more backwards and forwards you go, the better gradient you're going to get, but for the purposes of this video, I just thought I'd come on here and just give you a little quick demo as sort of like the right and wrong ways of blending out colour pencil, because I feel like that's a video that a lot of you have asked for, and a lot of you sort of quite interested in seeing the way I do it without using sort of like a any blending materials like zester or anything like that. So let me just do this bit. I'll add a bit of black at the end just because I can, and then you can hopefully see. Okay, and there you guys have it. I will spin the camera around so you can get a better idea. Obviously the pigment of colour you can see underneath here is the base colour. I could have gone higher up and sort of ignore that so you wouldn't see that, but if you try and sort of not notice that and just notice the gradient effect in comparison to the one up here, then yeah. Okay, right, I will now spin you around. So here, I hope you can see it's sort of quite blocky, it's quite it's not patchy, but it's definitely very blocky. It's not really that, I mean, it's smooth, but it's not as smooth as this transition here, going from the lightest colours to obviously the darkest colour that I could possibly find. It's a much smoother gradient. So I hope that you can see, I mean, admittedly the colours here are a lot more vibrant, but I'm pinning them straight down onto paper without a base layer, and the base layer is really important to making you get smooth transitions like this and not making it look blocky. Layers are so important when working with coloured pencils. I wrote a post about it on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me on there, please do. I will link it below, and I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.